Well, we're out here this morning scouting for moose. We're in the canoe, paddling the mouth of the river, and it's been a good time. This whole journey began way back in June, actually a long time ago, and I've been applying for moose tags since I was like 12 years old. But back in June, I got the word, checked the internet, and found that I had drawn the 380 bull moose permit, and pretty pumped about that. But what you come to find, it's all about highs and lows, overcoming obstacles, different things like anything from mosquitoes to shallow water to no water to too much water to moose being there to moose not being there. I guess moose being there is not really an obstacle, but yeah, it's been a fun time. Been using a lot of game cameras, had some success in that. Finally gotten a few cows and calves on it. Yet to see a bull on the game camera, but got a couple game cameras placed in some hot spots, and think that that's probably gonna hopefully pay off. Got about 2 weeks till the season opener, and yeah, a little nervous. Haven't seen a bull moose in about 3 weeks, so hoping that the tides will change a little bit, but also not too worried. Been doing a lot of research on it and coming to understand that October, 1st of October, is really a hot time for moose and love. So that should bring them out into the open, and so should be good. So sighting in the rifles here, getting ready for moose season. Savage 212 slug gun. That's pretty awesome. Thanks, Eric Kruger, number 4. Doing great. All right.
Hold on, new handshake. Put the thumb next to my thumb. Moose antlers. We'll work on that. Just kick on that. Slug gun.
Dad, Adam, and I had the opportunity to come out and do some scouting for the moose, and we decided to take the jet boat out one morning, and we came out to Cottonwood and came to find that the water had gone down a lot, and so with great struggle we finally got the boat in, and we were able to take a tour out to the mouth of the river, get out on the lake just a little bit, and we got out there early, did some scouting, did some glassing with our binoculars, and sure enough, saw 2 big old dark bodies right there on the edge of the willows, up in the mouth of the river a little bit. So we spotted 2 bull moose, good-sized bull moose. One of them was the one that I've been kind of spotting and hoping for, and so we took the boat. Wanted to see what the boat if it would impact them or not, and see what it would do. So we took the boat up towards them, got to about 160 yards, between 160, 175, did some video of them. Just a great experience. Beautiful morning, beautiful, majestic animals. They're awesome. Yeah, and just really gives me some encouragement knowing that what lives in here, knowing that the opportunity for a trophy moose like that is out there. And so looking at the season coming in about a couple weeks here, 2 weeks from now, just looking forward to hoping to seeing him again. And so that morning, just yeah, really great time out there with family, and good time. Alright, we came out here this morning, trying out the canoe, and yeah, just trying some different tactics, seeing how we can best get out here into the refuge, and works pretty good. Got us out here. Still dealing with a lot of shallow water out here in the mouth of the river, but beautiful morning, good time with my brother. Yeah, we're just trying to spot back up in here, doing some game camera work this morning as well, placing game cameras, checking game cameras, and yeah, just trying to find some ways to get on this moose here. So still in the scouting stage, but season's about 2 weeks away, so here we go. Night before the season opener, we're going on a bike ride. We're gonna go check some game cameras, and I don't know what we're gonna find. Haven't seen Mr. Moose in 10 or 11 days, and kind of went dark on us. So hoping to find him on camera, but I guess this behavior is kind of normal. We looking at articles and stuff, you learn that they spend the end of September, mid-September, end of September, kind of just hunkered down. And so I guess they're preparing for the rut. And so my guess is, my guess is that he's hunkered down somewhere in the willows, but they say wait till October and then they're everywhere, which is weird because he's only in one place at one time, and that's what we're hoping to find him in one place at one time. So, which leads me to tomorrow, opener. Not a lot of high expectations, but with low expectations, you're usually not let down. So it's going to be a really great time. Really looking forward to it. And you never know, he might just come on out, peek his head out of the willows. It should be a great time. So looking forward to that. Yeehaw. Alright, well, we came in here tonight. It's the night before the opener, and we checked some game cameras. I think we caught him on camera. Not quite where I thought he would be, but interesting. So, makes tomorrow really exciting. Super pumped about it. Yeah, the camera says he was over there 4 days ago. So where's he going to be at tomorrow? Nobody knows. But should be fun, should be exciting. Yeah, it's going to be good. The Lord, He'll either bless us or He'll bless us one way or the other. Moose or no moose, to God be the glory, right? So it's kind of, that's what I'm wrestling with in my heart. And but it's great. It's a beautiful night to be out here. Beautiful time so far during the whole scouting. Yeah, feel super blessed just to be out here scouting, just getting to see so much of creation and animals and interacting with them. It's been a blast. So we'll see what the season holds. Hoping for a short one, but hey, I have till December 1st, which seems like an eternity away. So hopefully we're not on camera December 1st, right? So here we go. There's one, I mean.
So, what do you want to do? I know you want.
Shooting is at 6:36. And
Shooting is 6:36.
there's meadows on the way in, so there's openings on the way in that he can be in that.
If shooting is at 6:36, I would leave at 6:34. And so you're walking down the road. So you're walking down the road, you see him, you can shoot him.
Right.
And
Because
then
if he's in there, he's not going to move.
I don't think he's going to move very much.
No.
So that's what I would do.
And we just nice walk in, we're either gonna see him or not, and then get to that point, and then maybe kick him out or something. So, okay. Meet at our house at 6.
Yeah.
Close and you or whatever. I got lost.
So we've been sitting here for just a bit and already hearing moose calls out there. Gotta see a moose this morning over there. It's a really good day. Really hoping for success today. Awesome. Still just sitting here waiting for some moose to pop out, but we keep hearing some grunts and some there's a cow in there making some noise, and so Levi was saying that sometimes they can wait a whole day to come out, or 2 hours or whatever, so just trying to be patient, enjoying some good conversation and some sunshine. Alright, we've sat here for a couple hours. Not hearing a lot now. So we're gonna go for a little walk. We're gonna head back to Cottonwood. Kind of walk the water's edge, see what we can find. Yeah, the adventure continues.
out opening morning, and first half hour came across a nice bull moose. Just wasn't the one, wasn't quite big enough. And fun interaction though. Had him at about 80 yards. He was just chilling in the reeds and the willows eating stuff. So, but kept hiking, sat and called for a while. Heard some cow talking for a while, and they were in the willows right behind us here. But yeah, never came out, never saw anything. So it's warming up today. It's a high of 88 today, so we decided that it's probably about time to call her, and maybe we'll come back this evening. So we'll see how that goes. On day 2, I was able to actually spot another bull moose, actually probably the same one from the day before. Again, had to pass on him. AJ was with me that morning, had a great encounter there. Cool to just see moose, but knew that I was holding out for something bigger. Tuesday night, I set up on the far side of the river, and as I was sitting there, I was watching, and sure enough, out comes a cow and a calf. And I thought, oh, this is a really cool opportunity. I actually took out my phone and started videoing. And I should have known, this time of year, bulls are following cows. And sure enough, out comes the bull that I had been hoping to find. And sure enough, there he was. But he was at about 240 yards, which is way too far for my shotgun. And so I had to watch him. He walked right into the brush and out of sight. I followed for a little ways, but realized I was only gonna push him out of there. And so I decided to put him to rest and come find him the next morning. The next morning, I came in the canoe and set up on the other side of the river, this would be now the west side of the river, and sat in that same spot that I seen him the night before. As I waited there, I waited for that spot for about 2 hours after shooting light. No sign, nothing. Didn't seem like there was any moose around. I actually got in my canoe. I was gonna go and walk the island that I thought he would be on. I got in my canoe, went about 20 yards, looked back to the meadow that I had been looking at the entire time, and sure enough, there's a cow and a calf standing right in the middle of it. So I quickly canoed back over, and they walked into the brush, and sure enough, about 2 minutes later, out comes the bull following them, and he came walking right towards me. He was in shooting distance, under just probably a little over 100 yards, and I was just kind of waiting for him. First I had a frontal shot, I didn't like that one. He ended up turning broadside, but was just steadily moving, and I was kind of waiting for him to hesitate for a second, and he never did, and he kept getting into deeper and deeper brush until all of a sudden the brush was covering his vitals. I had thought that I missed my opportunity at that point. He walked into the willows. I ran across to where he was, realized that I had no chance of following him at that point. So I ended up circling around, and my dad had been sitting on a different channel, and the moose actually came out into a meadow where he could see him, and I came around and I could see both my dad and the moose. And so I quickly got into position and found a spot. I had to shoot through a shooting lane through some willows, and I set up, and I ended up taking a shot, and the moose, I know I hit him. The moose ran a little ways. I ran to get a better shot. I shot 2 more times, and he ran off into the willows, and we began tracking him at that point. The tracking experience was really, looking back at it in hindsight, was an incredible experience. I was sick to my stomach, thinking I had taken a poor shot, and the moose that I had been following for this much time got away. So we began tracking. Dad and I were out there tracking for a little bit. Really a humbling experience, and I felt like it was one of those times when to not be prideful and to ask for help. I ended up sending a text to my Bible study, 1, because I wanted them to pray, and 2, I wanted someone, if anybody, could come out and help us track. Jesse Moldenauer and Joe Gill were able to come out and track. They were out there. They were with us within the hour, and we were out there tracking, and really it felt like the blood trail had gone cold. And we kept walking, kept going back to our last spot, and it seemed like the moose had gone to the north, but after a lot of searching, I found this little trail that went more towards the east into the river, and sure enough, probably 30 yards from the last place we found blood, I found a little tiny tip of a willow leaf with blood on it. And I was actually on the phone with my brother at the time, and so I turned around, I yelled blood, found blood to the other guys. They came running, and sure enough, we found blood. And the trail that he was on went right up to the edge of the river. And we're like, oh man, no way. And we looked on the river bank, and Jesse points out that, yep, that rock looks like it's overturned. And so we jumped down, and sure enough, on one little stone, there was a drop of blood, and we saw that he had crossed the river. At that point, we shuttled across the river. Jesse, Joe, Dad, myself, we had to take a couple trips to get across. And once we got across the river, there wasn't a lot of blood. I think it's because he had washed himself off a little bit, but we could find better tracks in the sand. And he went across, went through another set of willows, and after he got through that set of willows, we began to see more and more tracks, actually staggering tracks and drops of blood. It was a really reassuring and positive find there, and he went into another set of willows. From that point, he went through another little bit of willows and right into another riverbed. And so that's actually where we found him. And so we came around, and he was bedded down. And sure enough, I came around and I got an angle on him. He ended up standing up, and I was able to put one more round into him, and he ran about 30 yards from there, and it was a done deal. And let me tell you what, going from thinking I wasn't going to be able to find him to finding him and having a successful hunt, it was just absolutely incredible. Once the moose was on the ground, we had to make quick work of getting him out of there. It was about 75 degrees that day, and so Dad actually took off to go get the jet boat. Jesse went to go grab the canoe and the buckets that we were going to put the meat into, and so everybody got to work right away. People asked how the pack out was. It was literally 100 yards from the moose to the river, and that was it. So as far as pack outs are concerned, it was one of the best I've been a part of. Felt like the Lord is incredibly gracious to allow us to track the moose that day and to find it. And man, what a blessing that was. And I just thank everyone who was praying that day. And I truly believe, the Lord works on our hearts through things like hunting. And I can honestly say that the Lord worked on my heart in a lot of different ways through this tag. I think of just His grace in allowing me to get a moose, dealing with my own selfishness, dealing with humility, dealing with pride, all of the above. And I'm just thankful for the work that the Lord did on my heart through this all, and I am thankful for the experience of the moose hunt.